him. I really do.
Well, that's the thing. I say the same thing, bro. I hope he does. You feel me? I really do hope he does. I hope he does do that, but is he gonna do it?
No,
That
I
I
think
think.
he will.
But if he did, that would be great. Because the whole drain the swamp thing, he didn't really get the fucking. I think he had his second term, he would have did it, but we gonna see.
I really, really, really hope.
I hope you do, and I hope he does. That's what I'm saying. Because
I'll tell you, if he wins, first of all, it's going to be absolutely historic because he's going to write the largest pardon ever seen in the history of man. But on top of that, the left knows that if he wins on day 2, it's war. They know. They already know, and I'm anxious to see it.
As it should be. And on top of it, I think it's gonna be a lot of you know what I mean? A lot of fucking big moves in fucking Congress and the Senate too.
Oh,
So and that's why I say, man, hey, bro, get yourself together, bro. And I think we're gonna see a big uptick in black men being congressmen and senators. Not senators, I don't know so much, but congressmen for sure.
Well, you know what the scary thing? See, the problem is, as far as I think the Republicans have an easier time holding the House than they do the Senate because the House elections are more local, but the Senate elections, if we could take out this whole thing about cheating and ballot stuffing and absentee ballots and all that, if we could get rid of just that, I think the Republicans would do better. But the only problem that I see is right now the Republicans really don't have any stars. They've got Boebert. Right. I remember back when Obama was running, all of the Democrats running was stars. All of the Republicans running was stars. Now it's like these people are like just boring. It's like
all milk toast.
Yeah, like you on either side. I remember like you had Grayson running. You had all these big names. It was like everybody was a rock star. That was back in like 2008, 2009. But now it's like the House is easier for the Republicans to keep, and it's harder for you to cheat because these people all do local elections. They know who they're voting for. They know nobody in their area is voting for anybody else. But when you start getting to the state level, Democrats are fucking cheaters. And my thing is, Trump better be careful because they might kill his ass, or they might.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Hey, Chuck, we hadn't seen it in such a long time. What the last attempt was Reagan, right? And that's because and that's because Reagan was crazy enough to talk about motherfucking bringing back the gold standard or getting rid of the fucking the federal bank, right?
They just winged him.
Yeah, they had to send his ass a reminder. They had to let him know. Everybody else had post that has played ball, but the biggest proponents of New World Order has been not Clinton first. Clinton was a part of it definitely because he was a student under the guy that wrote fucking what's his name, y'all help me out. It'll come to me. But when the first Bush got up there and talked about the New World Order and so on and so forth and going forward, and then you had Clinton right behind him. So
was it Noam Chomsky?
Quigley. So Quigley,
yeah, that's what. Okay,
yeah. Quigley tells that he was he was the professor of Bill Clinton and all these different things. So, bro, we gonna get back into that too. I promise y'all. I promise you are, bro. This New York World Order shit, man, has been so, and then the ties between come to find out Obama and somehow they locked in with the Bushes and I don't know if it was Bush Senior or the little Bush that always give her like a piece of candy or some weird shit. It's just so much shit tied into that shit, bro. It's just crazy. But yeah, man, this shit been, and then hell, Biden is just a fucking pretty much a damn sock puppet for whoever
Obama,
is whatever. Yeah, So yeah, bro, it's crazy shit out here. Yeah.
Yeah, Carol Quigley. That's who it was.
Yeah, man.
Well, I don't know how this ends. All I do know is Russia and China are still going to be the major players.
Yeah, and the thing with that union, that's an uneasy union. If you looked at that interview that Putin did with Tucker Carlson, in so many words, if you look at what he was saying, he really wants to get away from China, but he's in a situation to where Russia owes China so much money, they can't. So and so that's why he's sending out smoke signals to the U.S. like, come and let's make a deal, let's sit down and talk. You know, and it's like people wasn't really reading in between the lines of what he was saying, but that's what I saw. I was like, he's telling us in so many words, come, let's make a deal and
Well,
let's make a move against China because they know China is a problem.
well, Royce, I'm on, and then I'm gonna bring you in right after this. Savage Red Recovery. Appreciate you, fam. Yeah, man, but you know what's still going on with that, right? So you know, Russia is the scapegoat used for all of the funding of the conflict with the country that they're in conflict with.
Mm-hmm.
Feel me? So as long as Russia has to stay the enemy, they're never gonna sit down at the table and broker any type of deal, because if they do that, now you can't, you know what I'm saying? The billions upon billions of dollars that are being, you know.
Well, it's not Russia, it's us. It's the U.S. It's not Russia, because go back and watch that video, that interview that Putin did with Tucker Carlson.
I'm agreeing with I'm agreeing with you. We on the same page. But I'm saying, for the optics of the people that don't know no better, the people that believe what they're told and the propaganda of the fucking what's name.
Okay, I see
Exactly.
what you're saying.
Yeah.
I
Because
see
you
what
know,
you're saying.
they got invested money, all the congressmen and women, and you know, the current president and shit, whatever, got, you know, they got a lot of money, you know what I'm saying, in that whole just situation that's going on with the whole Russia situation. But shout out to my man Savage Red in the building. What's up with you, fam? Go ahead.
Well, I honestly think that I think Putin is, he wants out from the new world order, and I think America and Russia's always had a very close relationship. Even I think the during the Iron Wall and the Cold War, I think that we had a way tighter relationship than they let on to the public. Like, we bought Alaska from them. Like, we're super close. Like, if they were going to invade us or we were going to invade them, they're not far from us through Alaska. So I think a lot of these populists that are being elected, that are trying to go against the New World Order, I think that's really what Ukraine's about. I think that's why, because if you also remember, we sold Clinton sold a bunch of uranium to Russia under Obama. Like, that whole White House ended up selling uranium to Russia back during his presidency. So, like, obviously, I think he was playing ball at one point, just like he's playing ball with China because he has to.
Exactly. We're on the same page, Red.
But that's why he's been a nationalist, and he was building up his supplies, and he was being self dependent and self reliant. That's why when he decided to go in Ukraine, it didn't really hurt his economy like that, because they had already adjusted years prior to that. But he was, like, in Ukraine, they were going through bioweapon labs, and they were going through, like, they were doing all sorts of stuff that wasn't really strategic to capturing the land. I just don't trust them. That's all.
Is somebody lighting a cigarette?
Yeah, it's me lighting this cigar.
Oh.
Yeah, but yeah, man. So yeah, that whole thing right there, bro. Like I said, it's a lot of shit going on with that. Gotta watch it, bro. And that's why I said, all this stuff. Like I said, they're trying, and I said this. Y'all remember I said this shit as soon as I got back on the boat, bro. They need to crush the America as we know it before Trump gets back in. If Trump gets back in, that was the whole thing for Biden being elected. Trump was, whether, I know everybody say, you know, selected, not elected, but again, I'm telling y'all, bro, just like they have to take some motherfuckers out, because you know, John F. Kennedy went off script. Abraham Lincoln went off script. A motherfucker can start being down with the shit, or be a part, right? But if you don't follow that motherfucking shit to the T, now you're in the way, because like you said, you're dealing with fucking globalists. You're dealing with much bigger shit that everybody got to fucking report to. And it's not just America. America is just, you know, the I guess the most one in the forefront, because, you know, it's the most popular country or whatever, right? And it's pretty much, you know, sets all the tone for the world. But yeah, bro, these people, when they take these people out, everything from Gaddafi to Saddam Hussein
I'm glad you touched on that, because I was just going to bring that up.
Yeah, like, bro, this shit is not happenstance, dog. You know what I mean? It's like they did Buddy, in Training Day. Hey, you got to get taxed, man. You got to get down and lay down. You start going against shit that's gonna fuck up, you know what I'm saying, their plans. Hey, man, you either better just go hide somewhere, or, you know, get ready to get drugged through the streets of your motherfucking country.
Yeah, but Russia and China were always against their plans. Like, everybody, people have been saying it for years, that the New World Order needed to bring Russia and China into line. And I think they actually screwed up and they failed with this Russian-Ukraine conflict, you know. And now that China and Russia have decoupled from the American economy, it's not as easy as just, you know, flipping a switch and cutting them off, because what they really wanted to do was they wanted regime change. They wanted to get Putin out of there. Now this dude's in there for God knows how long. You know, and China's not going nowhere. China's going to stay exactly the way China is. So, you know, the New World Order, they can do whatever they want to Europe. They can deindustrialize Europe, but Russia and China ain't going for it.
But nah, well, they want everything to be like China. China is the way they want it to be.
It's the blueprint.
Yeah,
like
go ahead, Savage.
I disagree with you when it comes to Russia. I think Russia itself is just the bad guy that they need an enemy for. But China's being propped up since the 70s. Like, the whole reason that they did those trade deals, and they allowed so much businesses to get pushed to China, was because they wanted to build China up so they could crush America. Because
under that most favored nation status, Kissinger talked about that in his book on China.
Well, China pretty much is the like, China pretty much was favored to become the next like power, because they've been hauling out America for 60 years. That's the reason they're bringing all these illegals in. Like, did you just see where Obama's federal judge he appointed stated that illegal aliens can now carry guns legally in America?
Yeah, Illinois. Yeah, we talked about that. We brushed on that. Yep.
Yeah, so they have to take America down, because America is the only country in the world that you can't invade. There's too many people with guns, so they can't really do, like, we're too big. We're one of the largest countries, and we have more guns than people in it. So traditional war isn't going to work on us. So you have to break down the economy, get people strung out on drugs, get people to not like America and not feel
anti-patriotism. Yeah, Savage. I talk all the, bro. The biggest thing is the anti-patriotism, man. And again, I told you the biggest finesse they ever did to during the whole Trump thing was nationalists, and them fucking you know, adding white to it to make it a racist term, to make it a racist thing for you to be a nationalist.
Right.
When everybody's everybody celebrates, the world celebrates nationalism every 4 years during what?
Election time.
No, not election.
Oh, World
Olympics.
Cup.
The Olympics. Thank you. The Olympics. Yep. The Olympics is all about fucking nationalism. Okay, you fly that motherfucking flag. You race. You lift. You box. You play basketball. You do whatever the fuck you do for your nation. But the propaganda behind it, like you said, man, if you just add one little thing to it, and people are so dumb, you know, bro, social media is so dangerous, bro, because people don't have the people already aren't taught how to learn, right? They don't know what to look for, so the manipulation is that much easier. I tell y'all, man, this shit on here, the shorts and TikTok and whatever, even the attention span of Americans, that shit is being attacked like a motherfucker, to where, hey, 1 minute or less, and you know that's what you want. Quick, fast, immediate fucking dopamine rush, all this other shit, and so on and so forth. To you know what I mean, just kill IQs, man. Then you talk about the kids can't read, the kids aren't fucking learning anything. They're passing these kids purposely, bro. And you know, it's not just the black kids, bro. It's a dearth. It's been a dearth
All of them.
Yeah.
This TikTok shit
Yeah.
is turning all these fucking kids' minds into mush. And
Yeah,
I'm
man.
still waiting for this goddamn Congress. They should have banned this shit years ago.
Well, they got it. The only reason they do it now because you know it's affecting the image and the global opinion of a certain country, a certain place.
No.
Realistically, they could claim national security and they could ban TikTok over just national security. My thing is, they should have done this already, and I have no idea why they haven't already done it. Like, it's going to the poster about trying to make them sell it and all that. I don't think they're going to binge that, and they're not going to sell it because the whole point of it is to make these dumbass kids dumber than they fucking already are. So the thing, I'm so pissed off with them for just that. You know, it's just ridiculous at this point.
Well, they didn't ban it because you have people in you have people in government that are communists and are tied in with communist China. But the reason that Joe Biden wants to ban it now is not because of Israel. It's because of you have the Palestinian protesters that are making him look bad. And if you look at the numbers, TikTok has thrown crazy amounts into the algorithm for anything that has to do with Palestine and protesting. So when he went to do that speech and he was being protested on it, and like they stopped his route, like the far left is actually hurting Biden. So they're trying to take a stance and trying to ban it to try to quell the protesters. Yes, I am.
Yeah, you borked out for a couple seconds. So go back like 10 seconds.
All right. So the reason that they're banning it is because the protesters are making Biden look bad, and if he takes a stance against the far left by pushing them out or going against them, then he's going to lose the election. So the only way for him to still stay in favorable grace with the far left is to get rid of TikTok, hoping that the algorithm of TikTok will stop pushing the pro-Palestine view, because Michigan, Muslims aren't going to vote for him. The Muslims aren't voting for him en masse all over the country, and he has to have the far left. He has to have that vote. 50% of black men are not voting for Joe Biden, as the polls say right now, which we all know that if the black community votes at, I think it's 79%.
No, I thought so. Hold on, so no, I thought it was less than 90%. So if the black community as a whole, if they cannot get, if I'm correct, y'all help me out in the chat, y'all. My understanding is if they cannot get 90% of the black vote, right? They cannot get 90% of the black vote, they can't win. Democrats can't win based off the black vote. My understanding.
I think it's 80%.
Okay.
But
I think it was something like 91. The last time I saw a number, it was like 91%.
I'm trying to remember, Savage. Somebody just said this within the last couple of months, and I wish I would have probably saved it or whatever somewhere. But my bad. Go ahead.
I think it's like 80%. I could be wrong, but regardless, if 50% of black men don't vote for them, that should put them in the margin to where they can't win. So that's why you're going to see more stuff about race. You're going to see a lot more stuff happening with T attacks or shootings in public. You're going to see a lot more stuff come the closer we get to the election. But they for sure need that black vote, and they need the far left vote. A lot of the loopholes that they used in 2020 have been closed in a lot of places.
Good.
So
if you notice they've been running a lot of them old police brutality videos again on social media. They've been all over the place when you didn't see them hardly last year. Now You go on like Twitter, you go on like Facebook and stuff, and YouTube, they're all over the place again.
Mm.
But yeah, you're gonna see a lot more race baiting. You're gonna see a lot more mass things. You're gonna more of this, and then if that stuff doesn't work, I guarantee you that you're gonna end up seeing a lot of these invading force start doing some terrorism.
Yeah, but that's another big thing too, right? So the crime rate of these people, they're purposely remember Biden just apologized for calling the person illegal or whatever, the dude that I forget how he killed the woman, but he ended up killing a woman. I forget it was like in a car accident or he, shot her or whatever it was. But the asshole apologized because he called a person a fucking illegal alien or some shit. You know what I'm saying?
Disgusting.
So literally, bro, they're trying to deny rights and privileges and things to the American citizens, the people that pay taxes, the people that fucking add to the economy, the people that live here and have the rights, right? God-given rights for this land, bro. But at the same time, they're making all these excuses, bro, and giving, like I said, giving all this money and support and government assistance and all these different things, bro. And hell, not even prosecuting them. That shit in New York, truck, how that shit was crazy. You know what I'm saying?
Y'all, you mean when they beating up the cops?
Yeah, beat the shit out of the cops, and then but he came out like Tupac, bro.
Let me tell you something. Believe it or not, I'd be arguing with the cops. I'd be like, wait, I asked them, I'd be like, yo, you guys are acting like your bullets don't work no more. What are y'all doing?
Yeah, that's
I'd be asking them shit like that.
Look, I said some wild shit. I was like, hey man, I'm gonna need y'all to start shooting these motherfuckers like y'all do niggas.
But you know what? Fantastic. I was just about to ask you a question. Given the fact that you now have a female populace that craves abortion, refuses to submit to men. Men are not marrying as much as they used to. Marriage rates going down. Fertility rates are going down. The birth rate is going down. Now, knowing all of that, how exactly would you replenish our numbers in general in the country and ensure that you have a workforce in the future without allowing the floodgates of immigration, basically? Because the reality is they're here to replace all of these fuckers that we're not having.
You asked me on the right day. You asked me on the perfect day, truck.
Oh, really? Did I?
Motherfucking artificial wombs and them goddamn androids, baby.
Artificial wombs. We're not there yet.
We're not there yet, but this in truck, this was gonna happen. That's what I'm trying to tell you. That they're still not going to be able to substantiate that, even with the influx of the illegals, right? It's not going to be enough for them to do it, right?
No, well, listen, if you got to remember, these people have large families for one. So
they do.
What do they say? You're supposed to have at least 3 children to ensure that you keep your ethnic group stable.
I think,
it's 2.5 or some shit, but I count up to 3. So the reality is, these people are going to have 4 and 5 and 6 children. You're going to pay for it because they're going to be all on welfare. So you're going to be paying for it. All these people complaining are going to be paying for it, right? But the reality is, most of those people aren't going to move beyond being permanent underclass service sector workers. So the reality is, if you're dealing with all these people right here, right now, who refuse to do certain jobs, who refuse to work, most of these fucking Generation Z, they refuse to stay on a job. They refuse to work. They're not making their car payments. They can't buy any houses, so they're not making mortgage payments. So then the question is, what would you do? Because every other country that refuses immigration, legal or illegal, Japan, China, South Korea, every other country that refuses immigration, their numbers are shrinking too. And their numbers are shrinking in a way where at this point now they're trying to offer incentives for people to come there and buy houses. Nobody wants to move to fucking Sardinia. Nobody gives a shit about your $15,000 move to Sardinia or come to Japan and buy a house for $10,000. Nobody wants to do that. So my question is, without the illegal immigration, how are you going to fund how are you going to replenish these numbers? And how are you going to stop that age gap? How are you going to stop that age gap from growing?
Well, no, that's another thing too, man. And like I said, truck, we're not going to be in the trouble that they were in China, I don't think. But like you said, bro, people are going to understand this shit, and they don't understand why the reproductive rate is so important. the
It's
more
because black women don't submit.
well, it's not just that. But
Get a white woman.
women in general, bro. Like I said, the reproductive rate has went down by 20, bro, like 20 since the 90s.
Yeah,
right?
Keisha doesn't submit.
But I'm telling you, bro, for the time being, yeah, or whatever. But my thing is, I know for a fact if Trump gets in, a lot of these motherfuckers can kick the fuck up out of here. So that's why I'm saying that plan right there is not going to work. That plan will only work if you have somebody in in office that's going to be in support of illegal rights or whatever, or what I'm saying, whatever is rights, right? But as soon as the person that's not that gets in, the motherfuckers will get put up out of here. Now the whole anchor baby thing too, I think that's gonna be a big thing that they try to change in Congress over the next 4 years, because it's crazy, bro, that you can literally come here pregnant, drop the baby, and now you can stay here with the baby.
First of all, let me stop you right there. First of all, that's part of the 14th Amendment. Without a constitutional convention, none of that is going to get changed. So even if you hear somebody campaigning about that shit, it takes, what is it? 3/4 of the House, 3/4 of the Senate, and 2/3 of the state. None of that shit is getting changed. That's a constitutional amendment. And the sad thing is, what I think is so ironic is the only reason why you needed the 14th Amendment is because white people were fucking black people over post-slavery. If it hadn't been for how they were dealing with blacks, the 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendment wouldn't have been necessary. But they were.
Amendment made everybody.
The 13th Amendment freed the slaves. The 14th Amendment
made everybody slaves.
Well, if you say that, but it made blacks as citizens, and it gave you the right to contracts, private contracts. And then the 15th Amendment made it so you could vote and that nobody could deny you to vote. So if it hadn't been for white people fucking over blacks after slavery, the 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendment wouldn't have been necessary. Now you got these illegals riding the coattails of the black slaves and getting in here willy-nilly as anchor babies. That is not going to change. That the only way you change that is 3/4 of the House, 3/4 of the Senate, 2/3 of the state. That ain't never happening. California, New York, Florida, all of these states that they're flipping blue, that ain't never gonna happen. It's just like with the Second Amendment. They can't revoke the Second Amendment without having a constitutional convention. They could do it, but they can't have it without a constitutional convention. They will never open the books. What they will do is they will keep passing unconstitutional laws. That's what will happen. So they're going to let these immigrants in here. They're going to stay here long enough to have children. That's what DACA is for. DACA is delayed enforcement. That's what it's for. They'll let these motherfuckers stay here just long enough to drop their babies. And once they drop their babies, now you've got a whole nother generation who's in direct competition with you for basically just about everything. So, and your vote. Because eventually Hispanics are going to outvote blacks and they're going to outvote whites. This is going to be Mexico.
Well, I disagree with you, Truck. I think that
not on the 14th Amendment, right?
No, I do disagree with you on the 14th Amendment.
You disagree with me that you have to have a constitutional convention to change it?
No. I think that the rule, like the way the law is being interpreted, is not constitutional, and I think it was a precedent that was set that gave the anchor babies. I don't think the anchor babies is actually the spirit or the wording of the law. I think
if you drop a baby on American soil, it's automatically an American citizen.
But Truck, no, Truck. That's what. Hold on. Let me hop in real quick, Savage. And that's what I'm saying, Truck. We're not denying that, but we're saying the baby has the right, shouldn't automatically give the rights to the parents. And Savage was going to what I was going to say too. I think it's going to be sent up to the Supreme Court to say that, hey, look, hey, this kid stay here. If you want the kid to stay here, the kid's a citizen. But what you're not going to do is you're not going to be able to you're still going to have to either go through the process to be here legally. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, but that does the exact same thing. In fact, that's worse. You know what will happen? If the parents take their kids back to their country, their kids will go to school in their country. They won't get fucked up by American schools that are letting the dumbass kids sit there on fucking TikTok all day and not do any fucking work and learn shit. So they'll go back to their country. They'll learn both of their languages. And then when they feel like coming back here, they'll have their American passport. They'll come back here with or without mommy and daddy. And they'll still be in the same position. And they'll still be able to vote.
Yeah,
So
but
that doesn't help.
you're literally cutting it down you're cutting down the population by 50% though, Truck.
No, we're cutting down the population by 50% by aborting fucking children and
But
by
that
women not submitting.
we own it. I know we're not talking about that. We're talking about just the whole anchor baby situation. So if you say,
Yeah.
hey, look, you got the choice of where, hey, the kid can stay, but your ass can go. You know what I'm saying? If you already have a person here that's legally able to be here, you can give them custody or make them wards of the state or whatever. Cool, fine, whatever. Yeah, but your ass again, you have to apply for and get the, you know what I mean, the leak, become a citizen by legal means. You just can't stay here off the strength of having a kid. That's the point we're making.
Listen, that's never going to change because they'll never try to reinforce. They'll never try to enforce it. And besides, let's say they did. Who's going to do all this work? Like, for instance, I'll just say a real quick story. When I go to work sometimes in the morning and I get something from the deli, they have had the worst fucking workers in the deli because nobody wants to work in the deli because it's low pay. You got to deal with an Arab boss that you don't fucking like. They've lost, like, let's say 4 out of 5 of the workers in that deli. You know who the only reliable deli worker is? It's that Mexican dude, Augusto. You go to Home Depots around here. You know who the only reliable people you can get to paint your fucking house or to do your roof? It's them fucking Mexican workers standing out there. Now, meanwhile, all these niggas out here fucking robbing cars and stealing fucking car parts and shit. You can't get them to do any work whatsoever. You got white men killing themselves because Keisha won't submit to them either. The white Keisha won't submit. What is her name? Karen. Karen won't submit to the white men, so their fucking suicide rates are going through the roof. The ones who are here, all they can do is work fucking Uber, and they can't even get in the corporate business world no more because now the Indians and Asians control this shit. So my bottom line is, who are you going to get to do this work? And I'm not making a case for illegals. Believe me, I'm not. But the reality is, I recognize why the government's doing what it's doing. The health of the state is live birth.
It's not just the government, like you say, it's the government and the businesses. They're working in tandem. So you bring up another good point. The health of the
state is live births. If white men ain't having babies and black people ain't having babies, and now the Hispanic women got that feminist bug up their ass, so they don't even want to fucking do what they're supposed to do. They don't even want to drop babies. So now you got to bring in illegal Hispanics who will submit, and now they're dropping the babies. So what are you gonna do?
But that's what I'm saying, right? So you bring up a great point, and that's what we're trying to say. So, damn, you make me lose my shit, and I was trying to cut in. I'm trying to jump in. Let me find it. Hold on, give me a second. Yeah. Go ahead, Savage, and I'll figure it out.
So when it comes down to the way the law works, if you have a constitutional Supreme Court, like for the most part we do, so they're going to go back to what the law meant when it was written. And it's not in the law that you automatically become a citizen if you have a child in this country. That was a interpretation of the law and a precedent that was set based on a judge that was not the Supreme Court. So that's what we're talking about with the anchor babies. Also, when it comes to the birth rate, you have a resurgence of Gen Z. Most of them, like, the men in Gen Z are the most conservative men ever at their age group. Also, you're having a resurgence of Christians having kids. So you have things that are working themselves out. The only problem is currently as we sit, you have the state and you have the feds pressing down on you from the top down.
And that's what it is. I figured. So that's all I want to say. So now we back in the same situation where it's not just the government, right? And it's not just the state. It's a tandem thing. The same game they ran when they motherfucking made everybody, you need a college degree, the college finesse, they're doing the same blueprint for the illegal finesse. So the Tyson story is the perfect situation for this. And like you said, Truck, Americans want too much money. They're too greedy. They're too lazy. They don't really want to work, but they want to be paid as high as possible. They don't want a minimum wage. They want a living wage. You got to unions, and you got to give them fucking all types of benefits, healthcare insurance, all these different things, and all right? When what you can do is you can just fire all the motherfuckers, start fresh, and get with the motherfuckers that take any and everything and think it's, you know what I'm saying? Take the smallest amount and think it's fucking, just better than anything they could ever imagine in life. Y'all remember
that? You mentioned that. Did you hear about the boycott of Tyson chicken?
That's never gonna happen.
No, I mean I think it's happening now.
I did. Listen, truck. Beer, you can do. Beer, yeah. But I promise you.
No, wait. Do you know what I'm talking about? What I'm
saying,
I know
exactly what you're talking about. People
were saying were trying to unionize, and they're going to fire them.
Yeah, they fired the 52. I covered the story, truck.
42,000 asylum seekers.
Yeah, I covered that story specifically, truck. Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. So, but I'm telling you, that boycott is never going to work.
Yeah, but between Tyson and Purdue, these people are still. No. When I say the boycott, I'm not. I agree with you. People are still going to eat their chicken, but what I'm saying is, it fits into what we're saying about asylum seekers coming here because these other people refuse to work unless you get all the benefits. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but and that's what I'm saying, right? So this that's why I say the whole thing is now they're showing their hand in the play. You know what I mean? All the people that's let them in, and their families and their people and asylum and all this other bullshit. Mind you, right? The businesses were staying out of it for the most part. They didn't have anything. But this shit right here is showing you, oh hell no, motherfucker, that we gonna take advantage. These motherfuckers happy we pay them, you know what I'm saying, $7 an hour, whatever the national minimum wage is. They cool and fine with that because that's, you know what I'm saying, more money they ever seen in their life. You feel what I'm saying? And then on top of that, bro, same thing you said, truck. Tyson said they're going to provide lawyers. They're going to provide like fucking campuses for these people to live. You know what I'm saying? All this shit, childcare, everything. And then pay them, like you said, $16 or whatever an hour. I don't know if that's, the same rate or lesser, more likely a lesser rate, but just pay them that money. And now they ain't trying, they can't make a union because they're illegals.
Right.
Right. So like you said, man, and now the state is like, okay, well, shit, we want these motherfuckers to stay here. And then it's a new thing that's got brought up, right? And I think they're fighting this in Congress. They're trying to change this over in Congress. So the amount of people you have affects what? The number of fucking the number of seats you get in Congress and electoral college, right? Yep, and electoral college. So Republicans finally fucking seeing this shit like, oh, hold on, these motherfuckers think they slick. So what we got to do is and the census is no longer going to count non-citizens. We need to count motherfucking citizens only because these motherfuckers trying to use this shit, like you said, to cheat, man. These motherfuckers been cheating, dog.
Yeah, and if you try to argue that point about illegals coming here and voting with somebody, the first thing they'll say is, "Oh, that's bullshit. They can't vote." But the mere fact that these fuckers are here, and the mere fact that they get to increase their representation, obviously they do have some say.
Exactly, they still have,
and that. I'm tired of arguing with people. At this point, I want fucking dictatorship. I'm tired of arguing.
So you going too far.
I want a fucking totalitarian who just fucking chops heads. I'm tired of this shit.
Well, so I don't buy chicken from Purdue or any of the big name. But there's only 4 meat companies that pretty much own all of the meat distribution in America. Purdue, I don't buy any chicken from them. So this boycott will be easy for me.
But that's you. That's one individual. But you got to think about it. I promise. I'm pretty sure Tyson has a deal with these people's favorite fucking fast food restaurants, bro.
No, I agree. I agree. I'm just saying, like, me personally, like, I moved from the city and I moved away from the city, and I do everything local. But you do have a resurgence of people having children, and on top of it, the other reason that you have people that want such a high wage is because when they raised the interest rate, that meant that the bonds that people were holding wasn't paying. So they intentionally increased the interest rates, and they intentionally gave out money, which pushed inflation. So by increasing inflation, you're pricing people out of the market, because you're not, like, McDonald's can't pay their employees $75 an hour to make cheeseburgers. They can't. They have to find a way to cut costs. So that's what's happening. They're intentionally fucking the economy and making it to where the inflation is so high that normal people that live here can't take a low-paying job, or they stop looking for work, which brings the ability to bring in these illegals and put them places. And they're
Savage,
also, yeah.
where did that seed get planted for sit on your lazy ass and don't go to work? Where did that seed get planted? When they when they purposely overpaid motherfuckers during the lockdowns to, you know what I mean, that killed the spirit, bro. People don't understand just how big of a fucking psyop and social engineering that lockdown shit was, bro. They learned, it was so much shit learned, tried, attempted, and implemented and successful, bro. I can't even, bro. A piece of America died during the lockdowns, bro. I'll just say that.
I understand.
Yeah, all of it.
Listen, I understand. But again, unfortunately, when that happened, I had the option to sit down and not work, but I worked and I lived my normal life just like I did every other day. You're right, but what you have to also realize is that these are all communist things. So communists are well known throughout history for emptying their prisons and sending them to other countries. Martin Luther King was talking about universal basic income in the 60s. Like none of these things that they're doing is new. Like Martin Luther King, the whole point of Martin Luther King was to have a black face to get the civil rights passed so that they could put sex and gender into it. Like if you actually like break down a lot of the talking points that a lot of black people on these panels say, you can literally trace it back to communist stuff that Martin Luther King was teaching at the time.
It's savage. Most people don't even understand that he went to fucking communist fucking schools to learn the shit, right? It is Marxist fucking acts and shit. And on top of that, like you said, I showed the documentary, I forget what it was. Bro, they pulled the same exact playbook that the people were pulling in Cuba, bro. Like "We Shall Overcome" was like a Cuban, it was like a Cuban translation. The whole like song and the thing, you know what I'm saying? They took a lot of the shit from, like you said, previous plans. None of these playbooks are new. It's just the shit that goes along. And that's why you had fucking Bayard Rustin being one of the forefront names along with Martin Luther King. You knew how he got down. And that's why I say when the people be praising fucking what's his name, James Baldwin. I'm like, bruh, y'all still ain't learned. Bro, you cannot do both. It's got to be one or the other. You can't do both. And when you let those people in, they always motherfucking mix that shit in it, and somehow it becomes the major issue. You know what I'm saying? That shouldn't be mentioned at all.
Well, that's why they've pushed the black culture to be in the forefront. Like, so they had Martin Luther King come out, and then 30 years later, they came out with rap music, and they pushed black culture. So now they intentionally devolved the black man and the black woman relationships from the 60s, and then over time, the fracturing of the family unit became a lower and lower form of relationships and culture that was there in the 60s, and then they pushed this degeneracy behavior out as what's cool, trying to bring down the entire culture of the country. And that's why they're using blacks to vote for the Democrats to bring in illegals, so that the illegal, like, effectively what's been happening with this illegal situation is like when your boss tells you that you have to train your replacement. That's effectively what's going on. But because you have the civil rights movement and Martin Luther King's Marxism and them turning everything into race, a good amount of black folks didn't catch on to, like, you're training your replacement. Like, that's effectively what it is. Like, there was just a poll that came out that said that that the poll was they polled black people, and 60% of black folks that were polled agreed with communism and did not agree with capitalism. So it was 60 for communism, 40% for capitalism. And then this like, regardless of the injustices or not, this pushing this victimhood for 50 years, 60 years has gotten to the point where, how many times have you heard a black guy or a black woman say, well, why would I fight for this country? Or like when Trump, when Trump ran for president, and he was like, "Make America great again." How many black talking heads did you hear them say, "When was America ever great for black people?" That's communism right there. That's exactly what that is.
Well, hold on. That's a little bit different, because the thing about it is, unlike the majority of the communist countries of the past, blacks actually have absolute reasons why they would be disenchanted, disappointed, or unwilling to fight for America. Now, granted,
that's not true, sir.
No, what are you talking about? You act like slavery didn't happen. Yeah, it did happen, and on top of that, in general, the mistreatment after slavery was also pretty fucking bad. So no,
that's not true though.
No, but that's got nothing to do with communism. That's got to do with post-racism. That has nothing to do with communism.
No, sir. That's not true though.
You're telling me?
Yeah, a lot.
No. I'm sorry. Nope. Sorry. The reason why they feel the way they feel is because whether they're watching MSNBC or CNN, or they're watching a string of anti-slavery movies that came out by fucking Tyler Perry or whoever made them, they've been allowed to feel a certain way about the country. So whether it was watching George Floyd with a knee on his neck, or watching fucking, what was that guy who got beat up by the cops and can't get along, Rodney King. No, they've got reasons. So no, that's got nothing to do with communism. Now, as far as the economics of it, yeah, there are some people who, in plain old simple terms, they don't fucking want to work, or they feel that their work is undervalued. Now, there I will give you the pass there. But when it comes to the racial aspect of it, oh no, there's plenty of reasons not to fight for America. There's plenty of fucking reasons.
That's not true.
How are you gonna tell me it's not true? I'm telling you it is.
Okay, so I'll give you a great example. George Floyd. They withheld evidence to crucify that cop. They lied and said that technique wasn't used in their training. It was used in their
technique. They saw the video. They saw the dude's knee on his neck. That's all they needed. They didn't. I don't know why people don't understand. No. Listen, optics is everything. They saw is what they saw. How they felt about what they saw is how they felt about what they saw. Now, whether you agree with it or not, they felt that way, and they're going to act that way, and they're going to vote that way. So if they
you done?
No, I'm not. If they feel that there's no reason to fight for the country, if they feel that the system is unjust and they feel that it's disingenuous, then that's just how they feel. You can't deny their feelings. No, they have a reason to feel that way.
Sir, are you going to keep interrupting me, or are you going to let me finish the sentence?
Go ahead and finish. But if I feel the need to interrupt, I will.
Yeah, well, by your logic, then you're agreeing that if I feel like a woman, then I can be like a woman because I feel that way, sir.
If you want to be a woman, go ahead. I ain't got a problem with it. Just don't let me catch you.
Okay, but earlier you complained about. Okay.
I complain about TikTok because I think it's turning people stupid.
Okay, well, let me hop in real quick and finish. I understand what Savage is saying, and Truck is like you're agreeing with him, but it's just I guess you don't want to agree. The whole George Floyd shit was another huge fucking psyop, bro. The knee on his neck was not true, to the point of where the defense had to stop saying that, because when they got the officer to meet the police chief, and one of the other people that was looking at the thing to admit that his knee was not on his neck, it was on his upper shoulder or some shit like that, right?
Uh-huh.
And then, like he said, the evidence that they showed, because I don't know if you remember this, they fired somebody. And then the lady released the information saying that, hey, they had originally, said it was originally the first coroner or whatever said it was an overdose, but somehow they changed it over or did some shit or whatever as to where, no, that's not what it was. And they got like another second opinion or another coroner to say, when again, bro, the whole thing is what it is. This is the thing. Black people have been inundated and attacked with fucking communism, bro, because of the disenfranchisement. So Truck is definitely right about that. So the plan was, because of the disenfranchisement and slavery and racism, all these different things.
It's 2 words: righteous indignation.
Yeah, this is why black people were targeted and so successful to communism and communist ideology, because you're in the white man's land, and the white man don't love you, they don't like you, they don't care about you, you know what I'm saying? They're just always going to be forever racist. This is why the racist bullshit is so fucking dangerous, bro. Because what happens is people can't see the forest for the trees, quote unquote. Okay, is America motherfucking the best country ever? I mean, you can make an argument that it's not, but if it's just the worst country ever, you can't even make that argument. If you're making the fucking argument that America is the worst fucking country ever, when again, Portugal, Russia, China alone have fucking had how many? In communism had the most fucking deaths through their government in history. You know what I'm saying? Not even close. It's crazy for you to make that argument. It just shows you don't know anything about history. You don't know anything about the world as a whole, you know, and just atrocities. Go ahead.
Fantastic. The reason I'm saying that narrative, the reason I'm saying that narrative is false, because you actually
you're
go
borging out.
into news articles and you go from fire. Can you hear me?
You're borking right now. You're good now. Go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're good now. Go ahead.
Okay. Speak up. Have you seen Uncle Tom 2?
2? No.
Yeah. So when you get a chance, go watch Uncle Tom 2. Chad Jackson, the guy that's the plumber in Uncle Tom 1, he goes through and does the research, and he goes back into he goes from the slavery all the way up into Martin Luther King, and he goes through and he shows articles and he explains that a lot of the narrative that was being taught about that Martin Luther King was espousing was not true. And him as a communist, he intentionally went and was getting teenagers and early 20s people to march, and that they were using the communist tactic of going and inciting protests where they weren't wanted to get, because what they don't tell you is back in the day, if you were a bunch of white people protesting, do you know how they cleared the crowd?
What?
Savage Red, I gotta ask you, brother. Your picture is looking awfully light here. I came in late, but your picture is looking awfully light here. Are you black?
Sir, I'm white, sir.
No,
okay.
Obviously he's white.
I had to ask. I came in here late.
Yeah. So during that time period, there were large crowds and they needed broken up, they used hoses and dogs on all the crowds. That was what they did.
That I actually knew.
That was what they did. But
yeah,
just like they were having these activists stay at churches, and then the cops would kick in the doors for the stuff they were doing so they could get the photo of cops kicking in the doors. Like, there was a large communist orchestration to get this media to show. And if you go and look into Chad O. Jackson, he explains this. And do you know the guy that named Up From Slavery? The guy that wrote that book?
No.
Okay, I forget his name. But he had a school of thought about putting your bucket where you were.
That was Booker T. Washington.
Booker T. Washington. So Booker T. Washington, his whole thought process was to put your bucket where you are and to build yourself up on self-reliance. It was his school of thought because he had made a group of men that were practicing this. It was his school of thought that got one of the people that was under him to go spend $110,000 for a building in Harlem in the in 1919 or 1920. It's because of that guy that you actually had the start of the Harlem Renaissance, because they were going and buying those buildings. Carver's group of men and their philosophy of life was going and doing that. Now, to pay $110,000 in 1920 for a building in an all-white neighborhood, like, that's against the narrative that the civil rights leaders were telling you. And you have Al Sharpton now that's saying the same things that Martin Luther King was saying, but we all know that life isn't like 1962. Like a lot of the, like, I'm not saying there wasn't injustices, and I'm not saying slavery was good, but what I'm saying is a lot of the narrative that we're taught and told about is not accurate to what was happening. If you look into Tuskegee was making the best bricks in the country. So anyone that was building houses in that area, white or black, they would go buy their bricks from Tuskegee because they were the best bricks. The Jim Crow laws in a lot of the South were agreed upon by the leaders of the black and white community because the black leaders didn't think it would be fair to compete against the white society.
Yo, Savage. How come I ain't never seen you over at like conservative shit or fucking all them other niggas that be talking this shit? I never seen you over there.
Well, I work 15-hour days, 7 days a week, and the main channels that I visit happen to be Chaotic Truth, Mr. Fantastic, and this might be risky.
Well, okay, that kind of makes some sort of sense. But I'm just saying, it's just like the stuff that you're talking about now versus like the typical type of content that I see over here. It doesn't necessarily fit. That's why I was wondering.
Well, Andre, I don't know how long you've been subbed, but yeah, I covered this. I covered this specifically. I covered Martin Luther King a couple of times, and like I said, everything he's saying, bro. Like I said, it's I know it's a white dude saying it, so and niggas gonna get mad because I let the white dude say what he's saying, but what he's saying is facts. Again, Martin Luther King has been that one of the big reasons that him and that what happened in the situation was that outside of him and JFK fucking hoes together. Okay, if you didn't already know, outside of him and JFK fucking hoes together, JFK had to pull him to the side and be like, "Hey man, listen, the fucking FBI and the CIA looking at your ass. You surrounded by a whole lot of communists, bro. So you got to make a decision. This is why he had a big team change, and he started, as a lot of people start distancing himself from, because like you said, on the major scheme of things, right? They couldn't let him get caught up in that. And then too, like you said, while he was removed because he went off script. When he started talking that shit about, hey, I've sent my people into a burning building, and he started really telling black people the truth versus this whole motherfucking, illusion of inclusion and shit. Because look to it, like you said, the downfall of the black community started right, like almost, in lockstep, in sync with motherfucking the civil rights movement. Before that shit, before fucking we could sit on the same toilet as a white man and go eat at his restaurants and all this other shit, black people were thriving, man. From families to business to all these different things. So
well, not just that, but also the civil rights movement, the NAACP, all of them are like, you can go back and find where the people were selling their land and their properties and giving it to fund the civil rights movement. And there's actually multiple cases of the NAACP defrauding people out of their property. Like, there's all sorts of nefarious things that was going on back at that time. So,
Savage.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how long. Like you've probably been around this channel longer than I have. Like, just judging by the way that you're able to talk your shit, you're probably been here longer. I'm just wondering, just the perspective that you come from, and the perspective that contributes to the way that you speak, which I have no issue with at all. You could say whatever you want to say, like, as long as it's truth, I have no issue with it. But yeah, like the people that I named, that they're over at like Bernard's shit, and that's the space I would expect to see you at if you're over there.
Well, I don't have time like that. I was in SK's. I watched a lot of SK back in the day when he was live.
SK what?
SKC.
Kevin Samuels.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Kevin
KS
Samuels. That's KS.
Yeah,
KS. My bad. But
yeah, that's what I'm confused about.
Yeah, like I have two mixed sons. So So like
Okay.
I have two mixed sons, so I always stay relative to what's going on in culture, and I've always been a person that's interested in the past and actually looking for things.
Well, like the point that I'm trying to make is that like we've got dudes like over there that are we've got dudes like fucking angry snowman and shit that's like if you didn't know
Yeah,
better,
I
you would
know.
have thought he was a white supremacist. But like, yeah,
I know Angry Snowman.
yeah, like I seen him in spaces where I didn't think I would have seen him, but I haven't seen you. That's what I'm wondering about with the takes that you have right now.
But
It's interesting.
let me get Andre, do you have anything outside of that?
We got to go back to the topic. Uh, I'm just wondering, just at the current conversation, but I'll look at the topic again and I'll get back to you. My apologies.
No problem. All right, free game. What you got, bro?
Man, what it do? I think that I think that uh, dude was absolutely wrong about far as black people the only one that should be really neutral to the situation, but at the same time, it's going to take black and white people to fix the goddamn issues that's going on in America. Uh, now it's the best time to get over the racism, put that down for a while, and work together to come to a middle ground because these people that's coming to America, they haven't been in America long enough to know what it is and what it is about. They just coming here for the opportunities. So black and white people gonna have to come to a middle ground and get some goddamn laws passed and build that patriotism back up to set the country back, to the right path.
That's a good point.
I want to hop in here right quick. What's up, Fantastic? How you doing?
You got what's going on.
So first of all, Savage Red, bro, your kids are not mixed. Your kids are white. You are a white person. So if you have kids as a man, if the woman ain't Jewish, your kids are white. Okay, as a black man, if I get a white girl pregnant, my kids are black. Your kids are not mixed. We don't claim them. They're yours. They're white. I just wanted to put that out there. We should not be having to claim their kids. So I got two mixed kids. What the fuck you don't?
Well, hold on. Wait. So, but Pastor, that's a biological and a sociological problem when you say that because clearly they're not going to be white.
Yes, the hell they are. They are classified by their father.
Not black
they are
either.
classified by their father. You are classified by your father unless you are.
Sir, how do you know that I'm the father of them, sir?
Therefore, them kids are not ours.
Well, not. Yeah. Oh. Okay. Okay. Well, I don't think he was putting on the kids for us to claim them, so to speak. But I know a mixed woman when I see one. I'm definitely not calling a fine ass mixed bitch white. I can tell you that, brother.
That's because we have grown to accept them because we will accept ours. We will accept ours, right? It's cool. It's all good.
But Pastor, the problem is, how do you tell though? How do you know? How do you know which is which?
I don't think you know what, you really can't tell, but we're talking about far as conversational purpose, far as you being a father, you are not going to put them kids off as mixed or ours. Them kids are white. They are yours. They need to be. Look, yo, I know a dude that has a white dad and a black mom. We call him White Boy down here, and he clearly calls himself White Boy. You ask him why he calls himself White Boy, because he has a white father, and we're not even mad at him about that. It makes perfect sense. Right.
It sounds like you're mad at him right now that you called him out.
Huh?
Like I'm saying, it sounds like he's mad at him right now for the fact that he called.
No, I ain't mad at him. I've told him this before. I'm not mad at him, but I have to keep reiterating that. I think
it sounds like
reiterating that.
Sir, how do you know that I'm not the stepfather to them? How do you know that I didn't adopt them, sir?
Well, then if you're a stepfather, then that means you are not. They're not your biological kids, right? I get that, right?
Do I feed them?
Not your biological, cool.
Do I take care of them?
You take care of.
Let me do this. Oh, stop. Let me do this. Listen, I don't like doing the kids thing, bro. Pastor, you know me long enough for that, bro.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna just stop it right here. I'm not cool. I'm not comfortable with that. I don't think you disrespected, so to speak. But that's that man's kids, and that's his business.
I'll leave it alone. I'll leave it alone.
Yeah, you know what I mean. I can't. That goes against my principle. So, Savage, no, my fault, fam, for allowing that. I apologize.
No, you're fine. You don't have to apologize.
No, it's cool.
It's
It's cool.
not the
No,
first
I
time I've
do
heard this stuff.
because
I appreciate you, though.
no, it's cool. But like I said, in Pastor, like it's no disrespect, but like I said, I don't feel like you really, but I don't like, you know what I mean? We talking about kids here, and I don't want nobody, you know what I'm saying? I would do the same for you. You know, I don't do that. So
And I get it, and I didn't mean that. I wasn't trying to like be mean or mad at him.
I got you.
We're gonna leave it alone. We're gonna leave it alone because it wasn't about him personally, but we'll leave it alone.
Yeah, I got you. And that's why it's just better to stop it there. But did you have anything on the topic outside of that?
Nah, I actually just started listening like 5 minutes ago, and I caught that part.
No problem. Cool. It's all right. Well, hey man, listen. I'm running into motherfucking Hamp time anyway, bro. So shout out to everybody that came through. Shout out to Chuck. This was a great 10-4 Tuesdays. I appreciate y'all pulling up. Be careful when you fly, goddamn. If it's a Boeing, hey, I'm telling y'all, I can't wait to go on a Boeing flight. I hope both of the doors fly off that motherfucker.
Boeing, I ain't going.
Hey, that shit. Hey, no, hold on, but Boeing. Have you seen those interviews they did with those with a lot of the mechanics? They were like they wouldn't even fly on those planes, and the mechanics were doing. They were smoking weed and shit.
Listen. Y'all niggas scared of money. Okay, y'all scared. Listen, I will be I told y'all. I said this the other day. Nigga, the fucking doors fly off that motherfucker as we about to land. This me.
And say thank you, Lord. Tell him thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord.
I'm about to at least get 100,000.
No, listen, fantastic.
Free flights forever.
What you do is you wait until they land the plane, it comes to a stop, and then fall out your chair and fall out the plane. It'll be about a 10-foot drop.
Listen, y'all don't want no money.
Fantastic. Like I'm personally not invested in the current big Bitcoin bull run going on right now currently, but I did notice a while back that I said this in the chat that certain countries were receiving quote unquote donations in Bitcoin,
like Ukraine,
or not Ukraine, but the opposition to Ukraine and their allies were receiving donations in Bitcoin. Please don't say it, but you know what I'm talking about. Yeah, they were receiving donations in Bitcoin.
Yeah, I've seen that too. It's countries that was
Bitcoin.
Yeah, it was countries that got caught up in that too, bro. Like I said, that's why I say, bro, I just don't trust it, man. I don't know what it is. I'm not saying the big truck. I'll leave the big truck to say that it's a Ponzi scheme and all this other shit. It just seems like a major setup to me, man. And we seen it happen when the whole shit happened. What, back in
GameStop
20? Well, that too. I say, yeah, I mentioned that too. Not just that, the stonks thing, the whole, the meme stonks and but when that crypto drop happened in what was it 22 or 21? Whatever it was, bro.
Crypto drop was
2020 is when it started, really. But it went crazy, like
yeah. But I'm saying the drop from it though. So when they had the major drop, remember?
Bitcoin reached the high of
15,000.
Bitcoin reached a high of 68,000, and that
dropped down to 16, right? Past it, I know it was
15,000.
Yeah. So that's what I'm talking about. So just imagine all the money that's fucking lost in that shit, right?
Trillions.
And trillions of fucking dollars, man. And that's just scary in itself. Something that's, what I mean, just
crazy. No, but you know what? No, but fantastic. All of this shit is coincidental. When Bitcoin had that high, that was back in 2021, right? But that Russian-Ukraine war, if you remember, one of the first things they were talking about was how Russia was in crypto, right? It was like at that point, I knew they were going to not regulate it, but I knew they were going to go after that shit because they didn't want Russia being able to move money around. So that was 21.
Do y'all remember those Bitcoin farms they had in was it Kazakhstan? Was it Kazakhstan at that time?
Russia, Kazakhstan, China, they had Bitcoin farms everywhere.
And then America got caught burning them shits. they burnt them shits down.
Yeah. No, it's a gigantic money laundering scheme, no matter how you slice it.
How do you call it money laundering? How do you call it money laundering, though?
How do you call it money laundering? What do you call a decentralized fucking platform where you can move large amounts of money around and not have to file a 1099K? Yeah, that's money laundering.
Like, that doesn't mean that it's necessarily.
Yeah, I still have money in AMC.
That could be.
Well, that's too bad for you because I told people not to put their money in that shit so they wouldn't lose it.
Oh no, I made money.
Decentralized currency.
I'm sorry, what?
Well, you literally said
I made 30 grand.
Yeah, I'm a believer now. I'm a believer now
grand?
because at first I was like, big truck. I ain't believe that shit, but I'm like Savage Red. I agree with you. I made one come up off that shit, and I was like, yeah, this shit. Yeah, I got hooked.
But guys, do you understand? That's the whole point of a fucking Ponzi scheme. They need to get you to win at least once because that's will get you to trust them to put more money in. That's the point.
Like, I agree with you with Bitcoin, but the meme stocks are something else.
No, the meme stock, just because they're connected to companies doesn't make them any better. The people now, keep in mind, you remember that guy Savage Kitty and how he didn't let anybody know that he was basically an insider. You remember that? You remember that with GameStop? You remember when the shit started going up?
I actually watched that movie. That movie was decent too.
No, and by the way, you remember
shit down. Y'all, appreciate y'all for coming. Goddamn, I'm out. Listen, I'm doing this shit too long. Listen, yeah, man. I'm not saying. Listen, financial advice. Make sure you talk to your. This is not financial advice. Talk to your financial advisor, your CPA, your accountant, your whoever. Hey, you know what I'm saying? All that good shit. YouTube, before y'all try to say I said some crazy shit about the COVID vaccine. Here's the article from the United States government memorandum for all members of Congress from concerned service members. Let me show it on the fucking screen so y'all don't try to fucking get over on my bullshit and knock my video down. Y'all always do this shit anytime I mention COVID at all. Okay, here it is. It's not my opinion, and it specifically names Declaration of Lieutenant Chad Choppin, United States Coast Guard. Who else? Yeah. So there we go. So this is the stuff I was talking about earlier. Don't fuck with my video. And with that one, that's that on that one, man. I'll catch y'all on the next one. I'm out. Holla.